Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel Tarot with Kate 06. I'm Kate and today we're going to be looking at what the next 3 months are going to bring for you. Now originally I was going to do this at home, but look at this. These are the energies that I'm working with. I'm out in nature and I thought why not use these energies to actually do this particular reading. I don't know how this reading is going to go because I've never done a reading outside of my setup, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so we're going to have 3 piles to choose from. I'm hoping the light stays. All right, so these are the 3 piles. I'm going to keep this. I got this yesterday. These are crocheted keychains and this is so cute. Okay, oh, there we go. All right. Okay, so this is group 1, group 2, and group 3. You can choose via your intuition by just pausing the video, or you can choose based on your date of birth. I have put those particular dates in the section, in the timestamp section below. Whether you choose by your intuition or your date of birth, know that you have chosen the right pile or the right group. All right, I'll see you soon. Hello, group 1. If you've chosen this card either by your intuition or because your day of birth falls on one of the numbers given below, know that you have chosen the right pile and welcome to your reading. We'll see what changes for you in the next 3 months. So you've got 7 of Wands. This tells me that for the past few months, it could be almost a year, you've been defending your ground. You've been standing alone. You've been firm in your beliefs and you've been protecting something. This could be your image, your reputation. This could be, like I said, a belief. But either ways, it has been pretty tiring doing it all on your own. And that's about to change. You are seeing support come in. You are seeing people listening to what you have to say. They are starting to believe in you. The 7 of Wands also, because the number 7 also is also about intuition. It is about dreams, beliefs. So you could be a healer, a guru who's been trying to talk about a certain teaching, or you could also be in the, in literally the corporate world trying to get something off the ground. Now you're going to find that funding, you're going to find that support that you've been looking for. Let's look at more cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out all the cards, based on how many Spirit says I need to, and then we'll do a whole reading rather than me just talking about each card. You'll at least get the full picture. But yeah, this is your main card. This is what's ending, what's changing for you. All right. You got the 2 of Swords. Okay. The Hierophant. Some of you might be fighting a legal case, I feel. The 9 of Pentacles, beautiful. Yeah, I very strongly feel many of you are fighting some sort of a custody battle, or maybe something that has to do with money that is owed to you. The 9 of Swords. We're just going to pull one more card and then we'll take the whole thing together. What's going to change in the next 3 months for group 1, 2, universe? What's going to change in the next 3 months for group 1? Okay. So, okay, I'm going to take both the cards that came out. All right. You got the Page of Cups. I'll have to shift you. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's still not visible. All right, we'll fix that, don't worry. And you've got, oh, let me show you this. You've got the 10 of Pentacles. And, oh, end of the deck, you've got Judgment. So we'll just remember that. Okay. So let's look at this. All right. Starting with the Seven of Wands, there's one thing that I forgot to talk about. I also feel like there's a subtle Mars and Leo flavor, sort of like a courage and visibility, which suggests that your standing up is increasingly being seen by others also. You may also have a very prominent, like a lot of planets in the Leo sign, or you could be a Leo moon, or you could be a Mars rising, moon, or sun sign, or you could have Mars as your 7th lord or your 10th lord. But irrespective, it's like I said, this represents energy of like earned ground, right? You're defending a position that you already won. I'm going to keep it here. Now, moving on to the two of Swords. Once the 3-month cycle start, because this is a timeless reading, but we are in April right now. So somewhere around late April all the way to the first week of May, roughly like 1 to 3 weeks, I feel like there's going to be a pause. There's a little bit of an indecision and sort of just closing yourself off to external noise to sort of hear your intuition more clearly. And because this follows the Seven of Wands, this suggests you're consciously going to stop fighting every battle and choose where to engage, right? And that shift creates like the mental space needed for what comes up next. For some of you, you may have also been, because the way this person is looking up at the stars, at the skies above, for some of you, you might also find a spiritual leader or a mentor who will help you to move into this energy where you are like, you're not just, let me take this card again. You're not trying to win all of them. You've chosen what you're going to definitely fight for. And you're starting to get into that energy. Then we come to the Hierophant card. Now this is where, the Hierophant is really about conformity or institutions. But I feel like this is for you, like an alignment with a higher system. So the Hierophant, some of you might be stepping into a teacher, mentor, preacher, advisor role. This could be something more structured. So for example, if some of you might be looking for a job, you might get that, and you might be in an organization that where the things are more structured, the processes are already there. If this is a relationship, it could come from, your elders, or it might be from a formal process like through a matchmaker or something. But there's also a lot of Taurus energy, right? This is going to be slow, but it's going to be more stable. And I feel like in the Two of Swords, you are still making a decision. By now, you will be making a decision. And this decision is going to be anchored into reality. It's not just a thought, but it's more like a system that you build that is a lot more stable. And then we come to the Nine of Pentacles. So this tells me that whatever you were fighting for, whatever you were looking for, your wish is going to get fulfilled. All right. This is a strong signal of independent success and self-sufficiency. So if there was a situation you wanted to get resolved, that will get resolved, or at least it will start getting resolved in your favor. If you were waiting for money to come in, resources to come in, definitely that is coming in. Where earlier, with the Seven of Wands and Hierophant, you were putting up boundaries, you were becoming more disciplined about things, that is going to pay off. The Nine of Pentacles isn't just about material comfort. You will also, it's sort of like enjoying the fruits of something that you built. So you put in the hard work. So for example, if you're finding a job, you put in the hard work in terms of sending your resumes, making sure you're going through the interviews. Now that is going to pay off. For some of you, you may have your Venus in the Virgo sign. You might have Taurus as your rising, moon, or sun sign, or you will have a lot of planets placed in Virgo. Either ways, you are going to see the fruits of your efforts pay off. Now, the Nine of Swords, when I was looking through this particular layout and I was just meditating on what this card is, I think sometimes when we step into a higher level of success or autonomy, subconsciously there is a fear that surfaces, right? The Nine of Swords isn't actual fear. It is mental fear. It is your mind chattering to you about things that may or may not happen. So you might be thinking, like, can I sustain this success that I've found? Do I even deserve this? And frankly speaking, a lot of those fears appear right before a big breakthrough in emotional maturity, because you've been defending your ground for so long. You've been in that fight or flight mode. Even when things are happening in your favor, you might still be in that particular energy. So it is very obvious. In fact, I'm not very surprised that this came up. It's just your mind sort of catching up, your growth outpacing your, those old identities, those old belief systems that you've had. All right. So don't let this get to you. Do know, like, if you can, do practice meditation, practice journaling, if anything that will help you understand your self-worth. And I know that this is all mental because of the cards that you get, the Page of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. So the Page of Cups, again, this particular mental energy can also result in a lot of like emotional turmoil. And the Page of Cups tells me that once you've sort of figured your way through this is not really something to be very worried about, but just know that you will go through that emotional turmoil. Once you've gone through this is what you are stepping into, right? This new emotional or creative energy. So this could be a start of a creative project. It could be a start of a new emotional connection, or just a renewed, sense of curiosity for life, for the world. And it shows that, initially the fact that you might be beginning something, you felt very vulnerable, you felt very anxious about it. But now, instead of overthinking, you are allowing your intuition to guide the way. You are paying attention to your dreams. You are using things around you to inspire you. And that's a beautiful energy to step into Group 1. This is the energy, and you can see the transition, right? From not knowing what will happen, to trying to defend your ground, to things coming your way, still questioning them. You are finally getting into this beautiful, amazing energy of curiosity, of just trying to say that, okay, this life is beautiful. And again, finally you land in Ten of Pentacles, and I feel like this is going to be your reality. I feel very, very strongly this is your reality 3 months from now. All right, there's a long-term, stable legacy that you have built, which is, it's larger than yourself, right? It's family, wealth, structure, long-term security. And this isn't just, though the 10 does represent endings, it's not just an end success. You build a system that sustains you, right? You build a system where you are stable. You've been holding your ground for so long. You definitely deserve this success. So you've gone from consciously defending your space to consciously choosing your battles, committing to a grounded path, enjoying that independent success, confronting your internal fears, opening yourself up emotionally and creatively to finally stabilizing into long-term security. This is a beautiful shift from self-protection to like self-trust. And that's your spread for the next 3 months. This is what you will be going through. You're getting into some beautiful energy, Group 1. All the best. And I was supposed to get some oracle cards for you. Just give me a minute. Okay, Group 1, let's get you an oracle card, because I feel like oracle cards will give you some more information if we need to. Any other energies that we should be aware of? Yes, Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between. This is so true, right? Because you're going through this transition where you will just have to trust that the universe has your back, and you will have to embrace this in-between. And that is so true, because this is going to be your success. This is going to be your end result after 3 months. So learn to embrace the anxiety that comes in. Learn to embrace just waiting on things to happen. Learn to embrace success and know that this will lead to something much better. Let's pull out one more card for you. And Spirit, time to collaborate. For a lot of you, like I said, right, 7 of Wands, you were fighting this entire battle alone. So for a lot of you, you will find a support, you will find a mentor. And what's going to be important for you is to ask for help and take the help that you get. Sometimes we can't do everything alone. There are people who know things much better than we do, and you may need to collaborate with them to form or to build something that is long lasting. So for example, if you are looking for a job, reach out to your network. Yes, exactly. If you are looking for a relationship, reach out to your friends for advice on what you may or may not need to do. I feel like pulling one more oracle card for you. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do that for all the groups, but yes, let's just pull one more card for you. Take a leap of faith. Yes. Definitely. Everything that you can, like, if you see this card, even this person is taking a leap of faith, right? So yes, everything that the universe is asking you to do, there is going to be a little bit of faith that you will have to develop in yourself so that you can quiet this chatter and you can get into these two energies. So make sure that you're trusting yourself, you're collaborating, because that's your path to success. All right, my group 1, again, I'm going to show you this beautiful scenery. Enjoy nature, because, that's what nature is all about, finding a way through. And that's all I have for you today, group 1. Take care. Bye. Hello, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So you've chosen this pile because you selected this card or this particular crocheted keychain, or because of your day of birth based on what was written in the description section. Either ways, know that you have chosen the right pile. And your significant card is Ace of Swords. Yes, so for a lot of you, you're starting something new. Mentally, you're getting clarity on certain things. And you are trying to, some of you might actually be thinking of starting a venture of some sorts. You're sort of drawing up the plans for that. All right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to lay out the cards, and we'll see how many cards the Spirit want us to pick out. I'm first going to lay out the cards, and then I'm going to start the reading just so that I have the complete picture for your next 3 months. All right, so what's going to change for Group 2 in the next 3 months? Okay. You got the 5 of Pentacles. The High Priestess. Okay, I'm going to take all the cards that came out. Just need to. All right, you've got the. Oh. You got the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Let me just shift this up because I need to fit in 2 more cards. Okay. It's going to change group 2 in the next 3 months to universe. Three of Wands. A lot of Wands energy. I feel like you are a creative group. Definitely. Some of you might also be into writing, publishing, even event management, like engagement or games. Some of you might be software developers who work on like creative projects like games or web design. Then you've got the Emperor. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So starting with the Ace of Wands, like I said, a lot of you will be beginning something, and sort of like the spread also talks about that. The Ace of Swords being your main card, it tells me that the next 3 months is about getting clarity. Right? So it would be clarity that's cutting through all the confusion. You're initiating a decision that could be mental. For some of you, it could also just be from a health or a relationship perspective. But it's something a lot more grounded, and there'll be singular focus on it, as opposed to, trying to create a lot of things. It's something that you are going to be just focused wholly and solely on, and that's going to be the energy for the next 3 months. But you do begin the month with 5 Pentacles. Now the 5 Pentacles is it's more like a feeling of lack or uncertainty. Now this could be about resources, financial resources, or just doubt or isolation. For some of you, because the 5 Pentacles isn't just always about money, because if you look at this person just lying down, it could even be from a mental or physical health perspective. So some of you might just be in bad health, and you are trying to focus more on that. Or it just could be a situation or a relationship where you feel a lack of something. It could be a lack of connection. It could be a lack of support. But overall, this is your starting energy. So there's just a lot of noise and overload that you're going through. But you need that, that something needs to change. The fact that we have the High Priestess, this tells me that this change is going to be a little more subtle, and it's going to be more internal. For example, some of you might be starting meditation, journaling, or you might be meeting someone who helps you hone your intuition to get from this lack, this feeling of lack, into something that sort of allows you to step into your authentic self. Some of you might be starting like a yoga session. Some of you might be starting a spiritual, joining spiritual classes. Some of you might also be doing like art therapy or movement therapy. Just all the way, at the end of the day, this is like trying to quiet the noise that you've been going through. And this is actually a beautiful shift, because the 5 Pentacles can feel a bit strong, but the High Priestess is all about us doing that internal work so that we can start trusting ourselves. We know that we feel more worthy, we feel more sure when we are starting something new. And then you've got the Ace of Wands, and I feel like the fact that you've got this particular energy coming in, it tells me that whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been working on, that is going to be successful, because that inner alignment that you've created, that becomes like ignition. Because the Ace of Wands isn't just about new beginning. It's like it's a raw, creative life force, right? And it appears when something has already been sort of gestating beneath the surface. So this isn't like random inspiration. You've been thinking about doing something. It could be that I need to start getting better health-wise, or I need to change the way I look at relationships, or I need to, some of you might actually be saying that I no longer need to look for a job. I'm going to start looking to create something. By the way, if you are looking for a job, it's good. But for you, group 2, I really feel like, again, please do, go do, what am I trying to say? Go, seek the help of an expert. But I really feel like group 2, you guys will do really well in business. So some of you might actually be saying, well, I have the potential, the creative energy to start something. Let me do that, right? Or for some of you, from a job perspective, a new bold opportunity might come in that feels energizing. Now, whatever this is, this isn't going to feel it's going to come in fast. Okay. And you will have to use your logic, your intuition in how you're going to navigate this. But this is definitely the start of something very raw. It's going to feel very unpolished. It's going to feel something that really inspires you, but there's a lot of work to be done. And then you've got the Queen of Wands. And this tells me that whatever is coming here, right, it has the potential to really elevate you. Okay, it's because the Queen of Wands is the sustained confidence and magnetic presence. So you're starting to go from a person who felt like they weren't really worth a lot, or you may have been even avoiding social situations because you're like, oh, well, I don't have a job, or my relationship is in tatters, or I just don't look good, and I just don't want to go to all these all these parties. But now you are the queen, right? When the ace is sort of like the spark, the queen is like a full-blown fire, right? People will love your charisma. They will see you as someone who trusts themselves, and that is such a beautiful energy to step into. You're going to stop second guessing yourself. This is how you show up. So if you're taking a job, you would be in a leadership position, like a visible leadership position. You're owning a creative or professional space. If you're in a relationship, you are going to be more expressive and unapologetic of who you are. You're not going to dim your fire for someone else. If there is a situation you're dealing with, the transition is that you feel like you have more control over that situation. All right. So yeah, you're the person who isn't sort of waiting for things to happen. You're the one who's sort of owning the entire space. And then you've got Three of Wands, exactly. Expansion, right? The Three of Wands is long-range vision, external growth, ships coming in, but also sending ships out. So some of you might be starting an import-export business. Some of you might actually be getting into a job that requires travel, or something to do with like overseas. So it could be an MNC, it could be you shipping things out and things coming in. If it is a relationship, some of you might actually find that your relationship requires you to relocate, or a situation requires you to sort of travel a bit. Either ways, the fact that it follows the queen, this suggests your confidence is opening up. There are collaborations, travel. There's a scaling of something. your perspective of what is possible just expands. And it's such a beautiful energy, right? You're coming from, I don't know how am I going to do this, to everything is possible. All right. You've got a lot of wand energy. So I feel like some of you, in fact, most of you might be having earth signs, fire signs as your in your sun moon rising. So this could be Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, or you could be, you could have a lot of planets in those particular signs. So either ways, check your birth chart. But yeah, you are entering into very creative, very inspiring period. And again, the Emperor sort of crowns this entire, the end of this deck. This, I'm telling you, group 2, you are in for an amazing ride. The Emperor is structure, authority, long-term establishment. And, the Emperor isn't just about control. It's about creating something stable from chaos. So whatever begins as an idea, and so that's why I strongly feel like a lot of you are going into starting your own business, starting your own venture, whatever begins as an idea and expands now becomes formalized. So you might be at the end of 3 months, you might be formalizing, like if it's a job, you might be formalizing, they might be formalizing this leadership position. I don't know whether I said this, but some of you might actually be joining a startup, right? If you are going down the job, job route. So they might formalize your leadership position. If you are starting a business, you might actually be registering that business. You now have a very clear direction. If this is a relationship, you now have a very clear, stable relationship that you can look forward to. So this is, by the way, this is Aries energy. So some of you might be having planets in that. But overall, the core narrative is that you have a moment of clarity that cuts through whatever this perceived lack that comes from not having things going your way, to you turning inwards, accessing your deeper intuition, which unlocks a powerful new beginning, right? You grow into this visible confidence, this visible energy that no one can take away from you. You get more opportunities to expand outwards, and you ultimately anchor it into something stable and authoritative. That is such a beautiful energy. I'm going to pull out 2 oracle cards for you, group 2, just to see what other messages does the universe want you to know. But I feel like you're in a beautiful space. Okay. So you got Giraffe Spirit. Yes, see the big picture. Exactly. I feel like group 2, you are meant for something bigger. So don't limit yourself, all right? Don't limit yourself. Butterfly Spirit, transformation is beautiful. Exactly. This transformation from 5 of Pentacles to the Emperor. Wow. That is some transformation. Yeah. So the next 3 months are going to be amazing for you, group 2. I wish you all the best. Again, here's a beautiful look at sorry, I got cut off. All right, so this is the beautiful scenery that is blessing your reading. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye, group 2. Hello, group 3. Welcome and welcome back to your reading. And your card is the Hanged Man. All right. So I'm feeling like if you've been in a situation where you're just waiting for things to happen, in the next 3 months, that particular waiting period is going to end and things are going to move for you. All right. So let's look at the cards. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to, all right. I'm not taking this. I'm taking this one. I'm going to, oh wow, you've got the Sun. All right. I'm going to lay out all the cards and then I'm going to read them all at once. So definitely this reading is ending. You've got the Temperance. What will change in the next 3 months for group 3? You've got 5 of Cups. you've got 8 of Wands. Oh, so the Emperor came out as, oh, the Tower came out, sorry, not the Emperor. Let's see if I can just... All right. Let's pull out one more card. I'm not going to take there. A lot of cards came out. What's going to change for you? All right, the 7 of Wands. Okay. Okay, so you do start the month off being in where things just feel paused or in suspension, but you're also being asked to stop pushing. All right, because the Hangman is sort of like a Neptune energy, right? You're asked to surrender, let go of control, and this isn't about delay. This is actually about realignment, because you've got the Sun, which is a major energetic life energy. There is clarity, there's vitality, there is joy. For some of you, you might actually just be missing this, right? So sometimes when things are going well, we become a little bored with it and we sort of look for things to change. But the Sun is sort of asking you to look around you and see there is happiness that you've earned. And this can be seen by looking at things differently. And this isn't just an external change. Sometimes you might have to go in, you may have to creatively express yourself. But as the month goes, something starts to feel lighter or more open. And I feel like this shift is more internal because you've got the Temperance coming in. Now, while this is definitely patience, the Temperance is more about finding balance, finding a rhythm that works long term rather than just chasing intensity. So whatever creative project that you guys might be starting, for some of you, I feel like it might also be the birth of a new child or a new family member joining in. So whatever this is, it's going to create balance, or it could be a creative project that you're starting. Like some of you might be starting a YouTube channel, a new business, in your work, you might be given a creative project to start, but whatever it is, it's going to create that balance that you were sort of seeking for a very long time in the next 3 months. And then you've got the 5 of Cups. Now, typically the 5 of Cups does represent sort of grief, disappointment, but because but for at least in this particular layout, because it follows the Temperance, I feel like there's some unresolved trauma that you haven't sort of been giving attention to. And often when we're doing creative projects, those old hurts tend to come back. And for you, you are now processing this. You're not overwhelmed by this. For example, if you are getting into a new relationship, the baggage from previous relationships can sometimes lead to behaviors that might sabotage this new relationship. But you are now processing this particular hurt. You're processing whatever has been missed before. You're choosing to acknowledge what did not work, and you're sort of releasing it back where it came from, just so that you can be free of that hurt and of that trauma. And that's very important, because this will ensure that mentally, physically, spiritually, you get into a better state of mind. And once you do that, because, the energy really flips quickly, because the 8 of Wands is news, it's movement, it's communication, it's momentum. And after that emotional release, things start moving fast. This is Mercury energy, right? So you will have messages, travel opportunities coming in. Because you've processed the 5 of Cups properly, you are now unblocked. And typically once we get into this new phase of life responds immediately. So this will show us sudden progress. I almost feel like if you're watching this in April, somewhere in the month of May, This will happen if, again, this is supposed to be a timeless reading. In this case, it will happen within 1 or 2 months. Once you've done the work, things will start happening very, very quickly for you. And then you've got the Tower. Now, a lot of folks are afraid of the Tower, but when I see in this particular deck, the Tower is about breakthrough, right? Momentum that leads to a breakthrough. Now, the Tower isn't exactly a very gentle breakthrough. This is disruption, but it is necessary. You need to restructure things. So for some of you, it could be that you might be relocating to a completely new city or a new country. For some of you, it could be that you've taken up a job that just does not have any resemblance to what you've done before. A situation that hasn't been working out for you falls out. Either ways, this is triggered by the fast developments that are coming in. This is something that you have wished for. This is not something happening to you. This is happening because you asked for it. All right. This is so different from the Hanged Man energy where you were just waiting for things to change. Well, things are changing, and whatever is collapsing, whatever is being let go, I would say group 3, let it go. It hasn't served you, or it has served its purpose for you, but it doesn't have any more space in your life. And you end with 7 of Wands. This is a position of strength, right? You are now in a position where the ground that you're standing in, you have gained that ground. You have earned that ground. These are setting up boundaries. You are no longer reactive, right? You've gone through that surrender. You've gone through that clarity. Now you can stand on your ground with certainty because you know what's worth protecting. So for example, if you are in a new job, now you know that you are quite, you are skilled and you are worthy of that job. If this is a new relationship, you know your worth, you know your boundaries, you know what is possible and what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. But this is a beautiful narrative because you begin by letting go of control. You're gaining that clarity and lightness because you know that you can't control everything. Then you stabilize, you integrate, you release all that emotional residue. You experience this rapid forward movement, which leads into this particular disruption that is needed, the shake-up that is necessary so that you can emerge stronger with clearer boundaries. I'm quickly going to pull out a oracle card for you just to see what sort of other energies that the universe wants you to know. Oops. Dream the world into being. Exactly. You are in charge. The Sun is also about creativity. Temperance is about dreams. So yes, you are in charge of the kind of world that you bring into being. Not someone else, not any other situation. You can do this. It's really in your control at the end of the day. And you got Buffalo. The abundant universe will provide. That's such a beautiful card, group 3. Exactly. The universe has your back. You need to take a leap of faith, but the universe has your back and the universe will provide, whether it is messages, whether it is the resources that you need to move from this particular limbo to this particular situation where things have been cleared and you can now start moving forward into a life that you deserve. All right, that's all that I had for you, group 3. Again, here are the energies. Here's the scenery that I'm working with. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.